or I'm back. You were here last week, but I tried to get on. To be fair, I did try, but
You bounced in and out.
yeah, in Arkansas, like I would hear every other word, and I'm sure it was the same way on your end. So I gave up. But welcome to our live stream, our weekly live
Last
stream.
one for the year.
Yeah, because next week, we'll see. Maybe I'll be in like because I mean by that point I'm on vacation. So
right.
and Jeremy's on vacation too, right? Next week.
Yes.
So maybe we'll be in like the gift giving spirits and we'll do one. But
I'm so stoked.
yes, Arkansas. You know what's funny is Jonathan Falks is the first person that I've heard actually. I never even knew that was a thing. Arkansas.
I've never heard it pronounced that way.
Yeah, I've never either until Jonathan Falks said it in some. I don't remember what context, and I was like,
"Do they know how to pronounce anything over there, though?"
That's
well,
true.
But you're talking to the pronunciation king here.
Oh yeah,
well, that's true.
Got to
what
get
was
some grenadiers on the table.
Grenadiers.
You need to get some grenadiers on the table.
That's not a grenadier. This is a grenadier.
Yeah, I'll unzip.
So let's start with the biggest
Delivered by helicopter. Yeah.
Did anybody watch Formula One today?
No, but I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
it was the most amazing finish I've ever seen. It was amazing.
Yeah, because whoever won the race was going to win the championship, right?
Yeah, and so with 4 laps to go, there was a crash. There was a safety car, and they literally and Verstappen was in second place. He went in and got slicks, so he's in second place. Then they made a controversial call to clear all the cars between him and Hamilton. With a one stop, it was literally a 1 lap drag race, and there's no way Hamilton can win because Hamilton's got like 30 lap tires, and Verstappen's got like brand new slicks, and it was like,
right.
But they needed a miracle, and they got a miracle. It was crazy. Anyways.
Yeah, right.
Well, nice. let's get in and talk about some stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I have been spending a lot of money. And I think shit. I have been spending.
Is that different to any other time of year, Rob?
A little bit more than normal. So I think I made a mention offline that Friday I went and did a little Christmas shopping. Now I'll blame Mike Horner, the owner and proprietor of War Room Hobbies, because every day he has a different brand on discount. So and we have not got to Mantic yet. Mantic is next Wednesday, and I think it's 25 to 40% off. So I'm a little.
You're saying there's more to come.
Yes, but let me start with my first one, which I know we're not unplugged, but I know you guys know what D&D is, right? And so the first thing I purchased was, let's see if I can get it in frame here. So these are these things from the guys that used to make Guild Ball, Steamforged Games. They make these models, and they're basically like animals that take the shape of various D&D roles, like clerics and fighters. And so it used to be known as. Move this out of the way. Used to be known as Doggy Adventures, right? And so there was 3 packs of dogs and 2 packs of cats. So I got all those. They have now rebranded them. Animal Adventurers. Adventurers. But they're the same.
Matured.
But what's cool about it is I was telling Jeremy is that this is like, well, you're not going to see it, but that's one of the ones I finished. This is a boxer paladin. And so they're like 28 millimeter models, but they're dogs. So they're 28 millimeter scale to a 28 millimeter man, basically. So they're a little bit on the smaller side. But if you're interested in like some really interesting avatars for your Dungeons and Dragons adventure, so that's $80 I'm not getting back.
Are you actually going to use them for D&D or what?
No, I don't play D&D. My daughter, I had bought some, and my daughter liked them, and so we've been painting a few of them up this week, and I bought the rest of them so we could just spend the holidays. She's gonna help me paint. Fingers crossed. She's gonna help me paint a goblin army, 2,000 pointed goblins in a week, and then this is this will be like the reward. The second thing I bought, I'm still bitter about this. This is ground. Well, it's for Aeronautica Imperialis, which is a GW. I should have known it's GW. That was gonna get screwed. And the box is so tiny. I was like, this was $40, folks. And it's hard plastic bits for. First of all, you don't need this. This is just bling, right? Like they have chits and stuff to do that for the game. But in that box, unsurprisingly, there was one sprue. So I'm gonna paint the hell out of them. They're gonna look sweet, but like $40 for a sprue of like AA guns. I don't know.
Dude, next time I'd probably be able to get almost the same thing, print it for you for $3, and ship it to you for less than that.
Ah, yeah. Right. Thanks for rubbing it in. I appreciate that. The next thing I had already bought, but I'm not gonna get it out. But I had put together so much Dead Zone terrain. Like I have the 3rd edition starter, I had the 2nd edition starter, and then I had like another terrain box, and I put it all together. And so I've been spent like 2 days doing that. You know, and last week I mentioned I won sports. I figured I'd show you my sports trophy. Pretty cool. This is the sports trophy that they gave me. And before
it's
the
like
event,
a dice. It's a dice tower.
it is, and everybody
And everyone
signed
signed it. Oh,
Mhm.
that's cool, man.
Yeah, and I will say, this is maybe the nicest dice tower I've ever owned. You know, you get like let's say the shitty ones, right? Like they're like 1-piece, like
Yeah.
made out of cardboard, like real flimsy. This is like heavy duty, like it's like plywood, you know, and it's got a hinge. But yeah,
nice.
So, the MGU is Mets Meta Games Unlimited, which is the store I was at, and there's a bunch of great things there.
Yeah,
So,
that is really cool.
yeah, that's a great event. You know, I might steal it. Maybe not a dice tray, but maybe a different trophy where everybody signed it. Oh,
Yeah.
my mic back. I don't know. What have you guys been buying? I'm sure you've been buying lots of stuff.
Jeremy.
I can go next. So I
Yeah.
put together my first Mersha model.
Ooh.
This is going to be one of my soul banes on a Dread Fiend for the Twilight Kin.
I was going to say, because that's quite big, so it's a character.
So it's a
Yeah.
monster, character on a monster. So large infantry fits perfectly on a 50. And then I had ordered one like that, but it was a snake Greek, but a lady one with swords, with chest armor. And they sent me the one with the bow when she has nothing but her boobies are out. And I don't.
You would have loved it.
Well, I have it, so they're going to send me a new one, but I don't know if I'm ready to actually paint boobs. But speaking of horrible GW, I got.
Why aren't you ready to paint? No. Let's not move on from this yet.
Because I've been distracted enough painting all the butts that if I take it over this, I'll be painting naked next thing I know, and that's not something you want your wife to walk in on. So,
or maybe it could improve your marriage.
Maybe
be a marital aid.
Yeah, maybe. When she's like, "What are you doing?" Painting with that number 6, 5.5 on a good day. Okay, so I have I have 2 more. I got 2 more Incubi boxes. So I've got.
Are you playing 40K or are you playing?
No. I'm using these for my Impalers and my Twilight Kin.
All right.
Because you
just wanted to overpay like excessively, or you just
you
just had too much money and you had to give it back to the store.
I've told you, since he got his promotion, he's just been like.
Well, a regiment of PMC is like 15 models, right? So 3 of these equal 1 regiment, and I have 2 regiments in my army. So I got 2 of them.
And then Mr. Moneybags with us. I didn't know.
I got
Mr. Moneybags.
The last box of this, because I'm only in my new list, I've gone from 2 neophyte hordes down to 1. So this is the last for my 1 horde is done. So I got that. And then I've been just working on bases. And then I have some 3D printed stuff coming soon from Raging Heroes Gods of Olympus. They have for my Gladestalkers, I'm going to use these Amazon archers. So they have bows and swords, because I want to capture that, like they shoot a little bit, but they're more fighty. And then I have a couple monsters coming, and I have it coming from 2 different printing sources, because I got to find the best, and then they just got to fight each other to be who's going to be my.
So they're like both vying for your like consigliere of models.
Because I'm using Alex's guys.
What's the fight? Who's got the best butt? Or
I'm using Alex's guy, Eamon, super nice guy, really great. And then I also have Austin Kerrigan printing me up some stuff right now, so as my backup. But I'm excited because I got stuff coming. And like you say, like Austin's quoting me, like if I wanted 2 regiments.
Austin Kerrigan?
Yeah, 2 regiments of infantry, 2 regiments of cavalry, and 2 heroes. And he's like, it's probably gonna be like $100 or whatever. And then I looked over at like my 10 freaking GW guys for like the same price. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yep. And I reckon Raging Heroes will be a good match for particularly the models you already have, but also the basing scheme. I reckon
Yeah,
that'll
so
go real well.
the Raging Heroes, they have like a Greek, and it's very much Greek elfy. Like the faces look like they could be elf faces. So
I'll look it
fits
up and
my-
I can share it. What's it called?
Yeah. It is called.
Did you say Gods of Olympus or something?
I think it is. I have a picture of it from not too long ago, so let me just look at it. Greek Gods and Heroes of Olympus, Heroes Infinite.
Okay. Just looking through this.
I can put the pictures in the chat too. Maybe that will be easier to pull up.
While you're looking that up, what events do we have coming up?
Well, I just got back from Living Legends.
How'd that go? Did you win finally?
No. I sent a picture of Living Legends too. Super fun. Oh yeah, I did try to talk about that a little bit last weekend because I was still in Texas, but great event. They had it at Jeff's house this time because the distillery was going out of business, but he had bought all this.
Oh, Black Guy's going out of business?
Yeah, Black Guy's going out of business. But Jeff had a full bar with drinks, everything. And then the Friday night, Rashad made like 15 mojitos, so they were sold out of mojitos on day one of the tournament because Rashad had made all of them the night before. But Jeff is a great host. They did amazing food, great drinks. So yeah, and then for us, now the next thing is not Riddle of Steel, which is not till February. So I don't have now. I'm in full hobby mode now until.
So I made Chuck, I could never paint Slow Nation 40. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yes, fair. Yeah.
Fair point. I went and played a game yesterday against my normal sparring partner, Taylor. And then we made the decision that we're going to run a 1 day next week. So we're going to run a 1 day next Saturday. Yeah, and we have 12 people signed up. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's great.
It's going to be a primer for Kings of the Monsters, which is going to be in January. It's 1995, and maybe in a little bit we can go over the monsters. Monsters are fun, really fun. And they're from the Godzilla King Kong.
Now, where is he holding it? Someplace different this
Batesville,
year?
Arkansas. It's about 2.5 hours west of Memphis.
Arkansas.
In Arkansas, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And I've got Clash of Kings coming up in 6 weeks.
Ooh.
Well, actually,
now yours is not. Yours is not an invitational. If you want to play, anybody can play in Clash of Kings.
Correct. Yeah,
we've just crossed.
What are your signups look like?
We've just crossed 50, so that's good.
And what were you prior to COVID? What was the last one you had?
Well, the last one we had was in COVID, so that went down to 30. But our biggest was just over 60.
That's awesome.
Oh, so you're right about there though.
Yeah, right about there.
That's awesome.
And that's with a couple of states are still closed, so not letting people.
What's your max? 75? 100?
I could, in the space I've got, because what I've done this year is I've taken it off site from the convention. We're only 1 kilometer away from the convention, so I thought it'd be better for COVID safe to have our own space where we're the only people in the building.
Air conditioning's better?
No.
Okay. All right.
No,
so it's still like a tin roof. I gotcha.
But it is licensed and it does have its own food and everything, so everything else is better. So I think we could technically go to 100. I've capped it at 70 for starters, so I can reassess. Yeah.
So who are the hot?
I don't think we'll hit 70.
Who's going to win it?
Yeah, going in it. What's your hot take? Give us like a couple predictions.
Well, I mean, Jeffrey Trash is always hard to beat.
Perennial, yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Goodman's always there and thereabouts. He took it. Oh no, he didn't take it out last year because he wasn't there. Yeah, definitely there'll be dropouts. Michael Geld will be sure thing to win biggest tosser for the tournament. Sorry, Geldy, I don't want to make you cry. It's hard to say because there are a reasonable amount of people, as you know, anyone can kind of bounce up and I reckon going last year we didn't have anyone go 6-0. And I don't think we did the year before either. So, it really.
And is it just straight battle? Is there any soft scores, or is it just straight battle?
The only soft score, it's like a capped: is your army painted or not, basically.
Okay.
So you get 25,000 points if it's painted, and 0 if not, and then they used to do that in the UK. I thought it was crazy, but it works, right? Like
I've made it this year basically the same as a low win. So we use blackjack. So basically 14 points if your army's painted, but it can't be missing even a character model, right? If you miss a model, you don't get it.
You zero.
So at
Yeah,
least it's
zero.
enough to get people to paint the army to some standard.
I've kind of bumped it up a little bit. It used to be 10, but I thought, you know what, it really should be worth a game.
Yeah.
So
I think
Whoa,
that's fair.
Australians small scores. Who knew?
yeah. So it's always been my secret soft score. I've been running it that way for a few years, but we very rarely have someone turn up without.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So yeah, little soft
And what
score
about
there.
painters? Is there? I can't, and I'm not trying to crap on anyone's, but I'm trying to think of who would you say are there any really big hobby guys who in the Australian tournament scene?
Most of our top guys are actually quite a bit into hobby.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we don't really I don't think we get the kind of eye-bleeding awesomeness that you guys get at your tournaments, but we get very well painted armies. Yeah.
Nice.
And so a guy that flies under the radar a bit, and he's not necessarily top tables, but a guy by the name of Dan Bird, he sometimes posts, I think, in our
I've seen
things.
some of his stuff.
Yeah. He's very technically exceptional, but he probably he often gets done over by the pop of some others, whereas I think he would be technically the best painter.
I think he had some bases or something recently. What did he post? Might
have been doing some halflings, maybe.
Maybe.
And obviously there's always Patch Adams, who always posts.
Great. All
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That guy's
He's got good stuff for sure.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how quickly he pumps it out. So I don't think he would, his stuff looks awesome, but it's not like he's not doing the really technical, blending or edge highlighting or anything like that. It's not the crispness, but he just picks his colors really well, and it all comes together really well. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I've actually got to get organized.
So who's your fair player?
Oh, it'll be me. Yeah, so when we're on our own, me or one of my friends, Nick Prosser, we generally take the duties. When we're on our own in a space, it's not that hard for me to kind of pick an army and drop in and out, or one of us drop in and out easily. But I don't, I'm certainly not going to have people taking it by.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bird stuff is really nice. Like his bases are really good.
Is it the one with like the wood elfy bases?
Yeah, the one that he's got like some hippogriffs, and then definitely looks like a Sylvan. It's in the Countercharge Facebook group.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, this stuff looks really good.
Yeah.
I hear the surprise in his voice.
Yeah.
No, I
wasn't surprised.
No,
but you know how
I just had missed these posts when I looked at it. When they're really nice.
Yeah, well, there's those people that they kind of they get done over by the fanciness or the real pop of something else someone's doing. That's kind of perennially that's Danny. His army is always mint, but there's just something that pops a little bit more that draws, because it's crowd voted. So the paint award. So it tends to go with sometimes something that's not the best paint but has an awesome display board or something will win.
Yeah, more like players' choice. What you get with players' choice, right? Sometimes the wow factor as opposed to the technical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say something else to you guys about that, but yeah, anyway. So 6 weeks ago, I haven't really reached out for a lot of prize support this year. Usually I'll go to a whole bunch of people, but I just...
You know what? I'm done with it, dude. I'm not doing it anymore. The reality is I'm just going to get them cool stuff, little swag. I'm not,
I always buy the packs, and I always go to Mantic because it's their premier tournament here. Like, it's using their brand. Usually I'd go to Shibor, but I just don't think it's fair in COVID times at the moment. So I know some game companies have done well out of COVID, but a lot of the little guys haven't. Yeah. And so it's not been something that I've been keen to go with my hands out, Well, someone's commented.
Exactly. I'm right there with them. Like you know what? This is gonna sound controversial. If you post and brag about how much prize support you got, I'm not coming to your event. Sorry. At this point, dude, I don't know. I want something like this I want
Yeah.
a dice tower, right? I don't
Yeah.
want a box.
Honestly,
of models.
I used to do that, but a lot of the stuff I would, even though it was price support I'd paid for, and maybe I paid for it at a discount, and that's what it is. So yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah, and I
Kyle
think
brings
that's
up a great
fair.
point.
And I think a lot of people like it really bugs me when you see these tiny tournaments going with hands out, and that probably sounds a bit elitist of a big
No,
tournament.
if you're not established, you got to build a
Yeah.
track record before you.
Yeah,
Now, don't you
it
think-
must be really hard for Mantic.
Yeah. Do you think
or
that
any company, right?
I like the idea of the discount code, right? Because you're not giving free stuff. Instead, you're giving someone like, hey, if you next time you buy from them, here's an extra 10% off or 20% off.
Yeah, so
And
what I
think
did
that would
this
be
year,
useful to the company, right?
yeah, what I did this year is there's not many people in Australia stocking Mantic at all at the moment. And so I went to a guy that I know had been supporting the community, and I just said to him, look, I'll buy the stuff off you, some, price support off you with what the money I have. Can you just swing me a discount? And then that way, I'll promote you,
we
that's,
both,
and
it's
let's
a
get more
mutual
people.
thing.
Yeah.
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 I think
Dave's
that's a good
Games.
idea.
That must be an Aussie doing it. Let Facebook see your name.
Mhm.
So Dave from Dave Games has been selling through one of our states here. So I thought it was a good opportunity to, give him a bit of airtime, and he's helped us out with a
Nice.
discount. So, and then,
Did you ever?
and then Kyle, Mantic hasn't replied to my emails.
Ronnie. Well, you got him right here. So
Yeah, not even Ronnie. And Ronnie's usually my bae. Damn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Did you ever go, Matt? Did you ever end up getting the halflings, the Mantic halflings? Because you were on the fence, right? About you had the web cart filled.
Man, I am currently in a battle with the missus about like the cupboard in the spare room. So surely you don't need all this stuff. Yes, I do need all this stuff.
Yeah,
but like so much of it is unpainted. I'll paint it one day. Yep. Well, what about all the other stuff, all the terrain and things? Yes, I need that too.
So like my problem is
It's
my garage.
If you don't open the cupboard, you won't know it's there.
Yeah.
And so my wife every day reminds me of the fact she can't park her car in the garage because I have too
It's
much
like
shit.
that. It's like that old Zen saying: if your garage is full of miniatures, but your wife can't see it, does it really exist?
Well, she sees it every single day. Oh, and then also I'm on the hobby outs right now because I took her van to the tournament and I got this massive crack in the windshield.
Oh,
we just put a new windshield in like 3 months ago. So now I'm like, oh god. Anyways,
well, my car's like, my car's 14 years old and like got 315,000 kilometers on it, right? And so I'm getting a new car at the moment. And she was like, "Oh, why don't you get something little like this?" I'm like, "That doesn't fit terrain in the back, darling."
Yeah, I can't fit
She's
my
like,
stuff in there.
Yeah.
I need
She's
a
like, "We still got the
hatchback."
station wagon." I was like, "No, my car needs to fit it too."
Yeah. Hillary had one of those moments this weekend because I have my painting table, but when I assemble and I do basing, that's on the kitchen table because it's too much space. And she just walked over and she said, "How many hobby tables are you gonna have in this house?" And I was just like,
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that was literally us this weekend. I'm like, "Don't open the cupboard. You don't know it's there." But you've also got a cupboard in the lounge room. I know. That's my hobby cupboard for my current painting stuff. Don't open the cupboard. You don't know it's there.
We just got to be so lucky we found the women we did, right? That even if they give us a hard time, she hasn't left yet, which is like a bonus. So
Look,
she's
mate,
here.
the key word in that sentence is yet.
Yet. Well, that's my epic daily quest is how to, make sure it always stays yet and not now. So
True. What's Charles has said something here. What's he going? Yeah, so Charles has got the same problem as you.
Okay, so you
the
feel
reverse.
Yeah,
Rob.
the reverse.
Look at that. That's a handsome profile picture too. What a lovely family.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm Kyle. He said CC Kyle. Yeah. Okay, Kyle. I'll get you in. Good to have him around, Kyle. Is this the first one you've watched of us?
Thank you, Cal.
I think this is the first time we've had royalty on with us. Normally,
Yeah. We should
Gotta multiply that love, baby.
I think you have to allow StreamYard access to the posts, right?
Yeah, whoever that is just didn't know how. What I'll do is I'll open Facebook in another
Awesome
window and
so yeah, we've got a one day coming up. Then we've got King of Monsters coming up in Batesville, and it's busy time. So
Yeah,
February.
it seems like there's been like a tournament every weekend for the
in
last
February,
little
we got
bit.
Shiloh Slaughter up in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Mhm.
And then this is some breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh, it's Luke Schaefer, by the way.
We ran an event in March called Manticon a few years, and we're trying to bring it back. We won't run it as a qualifier. We're just going to run it as, it's basically like it's at Henry Horton State Park. It's like a very family-oriented, fun time. I mean, we'll still play Kings of War for 2 days, but and beat each other up. But it's looking forward to that.
Nice. I'm loving, it's coming back with strength, isn't it? I guess there would have been that bit of nervousness about, how does the hobby come back post Corona? And obviously there's still a fair bit of hesitancy around, and, rightly so. But even with that, it's coming back strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a banner year.
I'm expecting a lot more Kings releases this year. Where I think we've still got more Rift Forge.
I may or may not have pre-ordered a mega army of Rift Forge orcs. I may have done that.
Man, that army. Is
I don't even
dope,
know. Like
man.
sometimes I say stuff to Mike, and he takes me like
those.
Yes, I ordered it, and then when it shows up, I'm surprised that I have to pay for it.
I mean, the models are cool. The flavor of that army is cool. I love the Manticores. That's now like on my list for. I'm still trying to decide like my Mantic.
Well,
I don't know what
you guys
to
see
do with
that
my hands.
Mantic has like you put your wish list together up to 300 pounds, and I'm gonna win it. So I'm just telling you right now. You don't have
there's like a Christmas. Or
holiday,
whatever.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah. So what happens to you is what we do to my mate Tony. The one that came on with me when we were solo once. Yeah. So when it comes to printing or buying painted armies and stuff, Nick and I, what we do is at the end of games night, when he's usually a little bit sourced, we're like, let's do this. And he goes, yeah, let's do this. And so then we organize it and we're like, all right, Tony, $500, please. It's like, once he's forgotten, what do you mean? That's your share of the painted army we agreed to.
Army.
Yeah. My first 10 mil armies come back all painted. So I need to get some pictures of that.
Oh, nice.
We need to get together and play that at some point. I huge fan of Kings of War.
It's about if it was in Kings of War points, it's about 10,000 points.
I think I have about that in Varner myself. Actually, I haven't looked at it since 3rd edition, but we're NashCon August next year. We're gonna have a major 10mm battle again.
Yeah, nice. Yep. And Charles was just making a comment about the.
Did you see the
they're fun.
The
dude, those characters run roughshod through anything.
That Lone Wolf this year got moved up, and it's going to be another opportunity to win a trip to UK Clash of Kings. Did you see that?
Oh, because that never happened, did it? Because of Corona. No.
So wait. Is the Clash of Kings going to be at Lone Wolf?
Well, I think maybe Kyle can. I think it's going to be both. I think they're going to have a trip you can win through Adepticon, and one you can.
No, are you going to Adepticon, Jeremy?
Lone Wolf? Yeah, I want to. I mean,
I think that ship has sailed for Adepticon for me. I think it's. Yeah,
it's too much.
Yeah, I was looking at the pricing and stuff. I'm just like, I'm gonna try to go. My new rule is I'm trying to get to new stuff. Go to new
stuff that you've never been before.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Both yes, that's what I thought. Woo! Nice. So that's another.
Come on, Kyle. How about you use that shiny bald scone to convince Ronnie to get me a flight? God damn it.
Well, you got to be good at the game, I think, and have a painted army.
That's true. No.
Does UK Australia doesn't have a win a trip to England prize?
No, man. It's like I don't know what it costs you guys to get across the ditch, but it's like $2,000 each way.
Oh yeah,
2,000 Australian.
Which is what, like $7 in real money? I mean, what is it?
7 pennies.
7 pence.
So
classic Mark. 5 minutes late to the conversation.
Oh, Mark.
Come on, Mark.
I hope you see every time I do an episode now, I go, welcome, as my homage to the master.
Right. Yeah, this is something they had talked about a few years ago.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
Which I think is great. It's a good way to kind of, I mean, particularly for your scene in the States, right, where you do get the various pockets because it's so big. I think that's a good idea. Have either of you guys been on After Dark recently?
Yes, a lot, actually.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I haven't seen you, but I've been on almost every day. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, it's not a good time.
I have not. So.
Yeah, you're not an After Dark man, are you, Rob? You don't like.
I like to paint.
Your hobby.
Honestly, when I'm hobbying, that's like my alone time. I'm like, put my
And that
my
totally
YouTube
makes
on.
sense. People who
Yeah.
like to listen to a book or a podcast, watch a movie, paint. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, Luke knows. I've been talking with those guys. The
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
that you
but
were
that's 'cause
slagging off.
Those guys.
Luke's always on
Yeah.
there. I'm not convinced Luke has a job.
To be honest, I know there's two, and I don't know which who's who, but I know that there's two Australian guys who are always on, and I enjoy both of them. But if you were to ask me which voice is which, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But
Well, they all sound the same to you. Is that what you're trying to say?
basically,
What you're saying is you don't put either of them on to get to sleep at night.
no,
unlike me.
they've reached
Yeah.
the I like them phase, but I haven't remembered them yet. So they're
Mm.
working their way up, though.
Suck
They're
shit,
good,
Luke.
good guys. I just know that you don't like them for some reason. I don't know. There's some sort of competition.
They're
He's a
Queenslanders,
handsome
mate.
bloke, though. So
They're
Yeah.
Queenslanders, but if they came into our state, we'd have to hose them down before you let them in the door.
Yeah, you keep. See, those are jokes that don't. Is
they
Queensland?
don't resonate here.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you said some joke. Like, do they even know how to read? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, what does living where they live mean?
It's the Texas of Australia.
Oh,
You know,
whoa.
Oh.
So they're
Well,
all
now
amazing
you've
at
really
Kings of
just
War, and
now
they
you
can
just
beat
set
everything.
off World War III. So Texas is Texas.
It's the only meta that matters. Where a Texas tournament. I'm just kidding.
yeah, exactly. As they cross the border, you kind of have to like wash them down, hose them, put them through, one of those, the
Shawshank
misters.
Redemption styles.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
hit them
exactly.
with the tack or whatever.
Mm.
Exactly. No.
Mm.
Queenslanders support our scene pretty well. They're good. They're good fun. Even if they can't read and write.
I will say those guys are always on after. Yeah, those guys are always on After Dark, always keeping it going. Like them and Rashad almost every night.
See, that's because
C4
they haven't got
I'd pop
television
on.
there yet, mate.
which
They
is
haven't got
cool.
television. Somehow they've got internet, but no television. So, there's no television in Queensland, so they have to do something else.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still on black and white pictures.
I figured you guys had the BBC over there.
BBC.
Oh man.
The ABC. The
So
Australian
I have been
broadcasting
building a
system.
list for 1995, and
For the year or the points level?
for the points level,
Right, got it.
and this guy. But like it's hard. Like I'm circling back to going, man, I like 1995, but man, what do you leave behind? Yeah, I've been playing 2400. It's like, ooh, I just take everything.
That's why I love 2300, man. You still have to make choices, but you still get all the
You
juicy.
don't have to make
You,
choices.
you do
It's
too.
easy.
Lies.
Oh,
Lies.
seriously.
No,
No.
you can take
Lies.
5 horse siege breakers and don't look back.
Well, if
Yeah.
you want to play that,
I'll take
if you
some
want
of
to be
this
that
and some
guy,
of this
Rob,
and
it's
some of
more
this.
power to
Hey.
you. But
Jeremy, I am that guy.
I know it's just like the world's hardened him, and he's like, no more.
No.
Mr.
So to be fair, I am an output of my surroundings.
Yeah.
And I have been shot to piss with my
Uh-huh.
ogres so many times.
So I can't even really hate you. You can't
No.
hate the player. Got to hate the game.
No,
so.
I'm just like, all right.
But this is that's a really good point. And Jeremy, I'm about 3/4 the way through your meta episode, right?
Oh yeah.
Which
By the
I'm
way,
really
did you put a
enjoying.
timestamp on so we can know when that thing started? I'm just
When we get past the interviews, the what is it?
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
called it a circle jerk or something.
Someone
at the
put
start.
that on the unplugged thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're going to get after a show's been out for that long, I mean, I don't know, how hard is it just to fast forward?
yeah. Well,
I mean,
that you got 30 minutes of prologue in every episode of Unplugged, and
Mm.
that's just their stick. So
Regarding the points thing, like I like lots of points levels. I mean, there is no doubt that building an army at less than 2,000 points is more challenging. Yeah, but I don't buy into any of the one's more balanced than that, or that. But it's definitely harder to build a list for
wait for
long.
Jeremy to cue his Todd Serpico impersonation. When the game is built on 2,000 points.
Hey, come on. We might Todd and I may be taking our team on the road to a little BCB this next year.
Maybe. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, or maybe Rob will block you.
Well, no, I have nothing to do with BCB.
So-
I gave it up.
It's not his.
I got
it's
my
not
own
his-
event. Yeah,
it's
I-
not
Sorry.
his shindig.
Sold out.
So I I've learned a long time ago, if I'm not running it, I don't always have faith that things get done. So
Yeah. That's what I was going with the meta talk, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that episode. But the funny thing is like, if you really dig it down, the meta never stays the same, right? So like Rob has evolved to do that,
Yeah.
and eventually someone will evolve to take out Rob's
Yeah.
Siegebreaker list. You know.
Well, they have already.
Yeah. That's the
Called
beauty
Alchemist
of it.
Curse,
So
bro.
like, so we can talk about meta all we want, but in 3
it's
months' time it'll
impossible.
be different. Yeah.
You can't. It's more of like a fun. Let's throw
Really,
some.
yeah.
let's
Really,
throw
there is no meta.
Yeah, you throw
Right.
some darts at the dartboard.
It's all temporary.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really, you just kind of say what you think and have fun with it. That's why we try to approach it in a little bit jokey fashion, because it is sort of like ridiculous, because you never know what's going to happen. So just try to make
I tried to talk in the episode that I did on the event we just went to. Matt Temple was beating my ass so bad. Like, I was in tears, dude. Like, he was like,
is it still red?
It feels. I have a cushion on my butt when I'm donuts because it hurts so bad. But I mean, he had like the double Cronius. I mean, he had the Warlocks.
Was it new cock or old cock?
It's new cock, yeah.
Oh yeah, the double Cronius is no joke.
Dude, it was
man.
rough, man.
Oh,
and,
it's rough.
New cock hurts sometimes.
Yeah, Tracy did that to me. It's rough. All that wound mitigation and removal and move around. It's like new abyssals are good.
How good! Oh, and speaking of, he didn't make it to the final. So there's the final of the Quintessential Cup, which is who's that? Paige versus
Paige and Tom Robinson.
Paige and Tom Robinson. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, if you got a spare
Team
8
Paige.
hours,
I'm
tune
Team
in.
Paige.
Oh yeah,
I'm Team Paige. I like Paige.
Yeah,
He's a very smart, very. He's like the guy. I don't know. I'll just stop.
I think he's one of those like players that if he was in a bigger scene, he would be more well known.
There you go.
Because he's a world class player, amazing on you. I mean, he's a great player, but he's such a small scene. If he was in like, a bigger scene, I think he would be more thought of as a great player. Even though I know a lot of people respect him. As
well,
that.
and the thing is, he'd probably even get better.
Right, because he's playing against some of the really awesome players.
Yeah. So, and speaking of that, they've announced Call to Arms 6. Yep, I'm not sure. Will you be participating, Santa Jer?
I don't know. I feel like I'm using UB right now to test it, but I really want to be all my energies focused towards on the table. So if I do it, I'm going to be taking the list that I'm workshopping for Masters. I feel like the last couple of times I played in person, I'm like, maybe I'm playing UB too much.
I think it forces bad habits.
There's some things I don't like.
Yeah.
I've noticed that some of the moving stuff around, I've done it so many times, I know in my head that it can go there, so I just move it there, as opposed to like showing the person I'm playing in person, okay, I do this pivot and do this, more of like, so I think there's some, I don't want to say sloppy, but there's some sort of type things that enter your game when you're so used to moving stuff around back and forth in UB that's not great for in person. So
yeah, I'm just trying to see when it's starting.
Well, I think the matchups are going to be later in December. I thought I saw the 24th or 27th or somewhere around there. Adam Padley had a post about when they were going to.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, and I can see the pack, but it doesn't say a date, and there's no date in the pack. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I've got end of Jan, start of February. Baby number 2's coming, so I don't think I can commit to that. Someone finally heard my Texas comment.
He must be watching it on he must be 14 minutes behind or something. Yeah. Well, it's Texas. Maybe the internet's a little slow down there.
Yeah, exactly. It just came through in Morse code.
It's just like another reason why it's just like everyone says that I'm not going to finish Twilight Kin for next Masters, and I'm determined to prove them wrong. So it's like, do I want to put that much time aside for a tournament?
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, now that it's certainly become more of a more worldwide thing, the Call to Arms, like there's more Spaniards involved, and I think a few South Americans. It's just logistically become a lot more difficult, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, when you're that far away from each other in time zones to get stuff organized.
You guys keen? You want to take a look at some of these monsters that we get to pick from for King of Monsters?
Yeah.
You keen?
Yeah. Yeah. Show us the monsters.
Yes, sir.
For the tournament.
Right, so
I was waiting to see a picture of Austin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so there's 8 of them.
The shitless wonder.
Shitless wonder. Big shout out to Austin though. Next week, I was going to run the event and play in it. the one day. He's like, well, I'm
that's
working.
hard.
Well, he said, I'm working, so I'll just run the event. I'm like, oh, awesome. Because we're having it at the store, so that's cool. All right, so the first one is Gojira the Usurped. They're all 305 points. And they all roughly the same speed, but you'll see a few differences. But speed 7, and I should mention, so 1995 army, everybody gets one of these armies for free, or one of these monsters for free. You play with the same monster the entire game. I think they're all on 75mm basis. So Gojira the Usurped, speed 7, melee 4, range 4, defense 5, Strider crushing 3, atomic breath, 16-inch range, piercing 2, steady aim. The unit has the brutal and shattering rule. Special rules, aftermath. So let's see. The unit may not. So they all have. Every one of these monsters have this rule called Loner, which they can't be inspired. But when they're routed, you pick one of the 2 dice to have the opponent reroll it every time.
Huh.
Oh, interesting.
Cool. I like that.
When they're routed, if you roll a route, right, you can pick them.
Yeah,
so that's
so
kind of cool. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because and they're fearless, so they can't be wavered either.
Right, and this unit treats has the Mighty Kaiju rule. This unit treats impassable terrain as if it has fly.
Huh.
So basically, like climb over the building.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Now you can't
cool.
see over the building necessarily if you're height 6 and if the building's height 7 or something.
Yeah.
But you can move over it.
Cool. Tactically, that brings in a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
So this
like
seems pretty good, like a on the ground dragony sort of guy, but who has a little bit of shooting attack.
Yeah. So I'm playing a pretty heavy Siegebreaker list, and so I'm looking at Mecha Godzilla because he has Rally 1, or Mothra because he can cast 2 heal 4s per turn.
Do you have those two? Those style?
I'm gonna let's run through them. So the next one is Gadora, the False King. So speed 8,
faster. Yep.
So he's faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Melee 4,
less attack.
Range 5, defense 4+. You can see he's got a little less nerve, 6 attacks, height 6, Strider, crushing shrink 2, fly, gravity, breath attacks. So 18-inch range, steady aim for each hit scored, move the target 1 inch.
In the direction of your choice.
Oh, dude, that's
nasty. So I think Gadora, is that the 3-headed monster from?
Yeah, please look. It has 3 plus 3d3 to its attack profile.
Right,
so
it's a 3-headed monster. Right, the 3-headed dragon. This unit again it has loner rule and 3-headed, so this unit adds 3d3 to its attack.
So the 3d3 would count for shooting then as well.
Yeah, and this is the model that Dustin run roughshod over everybody with last year.
Yeah,
because it was even worse last year.
Think about that, to be able to like have 6 plus 3d3 on 4s to be able to move things any way you want. I mean,
think about this. Think about this monster in combination with a Surge army, right?
Yep.
And back then you could move people sideways, left and right. So like he would just like shift to where he wanted you, and then surged in and smashed you.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Let me make sure. All right, so Rodon. This is what I used last year. He's basically like a big flyer with a breath attack. So speed 10, attacks D6 plus 8, dash 17 nerve, Strider, crushing 1, thunderous 1, fly, and nimble. So his big thing is the unit does not lose nimble when disordered. The unit has the regen 6+ special rule, which is interesting. I don't think they had that last year. And then his attack is a 16-inch range, piercing 1, steady aim. And what's cool about him is he's height 6. So I'd like last year play Kingdoms of Men. I just left him behind my army and just like kind of like followed up and was just like a battery shooting. But he flies 20, right? And so D6 plus 8 hitting on 4s, not great with the 4s, but you don't sleep on it, right?
Did the other guys still have loner too? Did the movement?
They all have loners. They all have loners.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Okay. Right. So he loses nimble. So which means when disordered. Nimble. Yeah, he'll still lose fly, but not nimble.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, cool. Right.
Let's go to the next one. Mothra. Now, this is one I haven't played with yet, but I'm really thinking about it. So, again, she's a speed 10 flyer, and she's Strider Pathfinder, which is interesting. I don't know why you would need, if you fly, I don't know why you would need Pathfinder and Strider.
So you can land in terrain.
Well, I guess if you're hindered, I guess if you get disordered and you're still moving 10, you could.
Yep.
And you can land in, you got to be able to have Pathfinder to move 10 or at the double through a forest. So this way you can land in a forest.
Sure.
These flyers can't land in forests.
Right. And at the double.
Yeah.
Unless charging.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Thunder's charge 1, fly, nimble, radiance. Ooh, I missed Radiance of Life. Oh, this is sounding more and more like the sweet spot for me.
And you can cast heal obviously within 12, but you don't need line of sight.
This unit may cast heal 4 twice during the shooting phase.
So hold on. The first one's heal 6. Is this a typo?
Oh, hang on. When Mothra is routed, no, that's if she's routed.
Oh, when she's
Oh,
routed.
yeah,
Mothra
if
is
she's
routed,
routed.
she immediately casts heal 6 on an allied unit, regardless of line of sight. The targeted unit has the elite special rule during the next turn.
I tell you what I do like with these guys too is that most of them are melee 4 and def 4.
There's only one that's 3. Anybody got a guess?
Godzilla.
Nope.
King Kong. Is King
Yeah.
Kong in there?
King Kong's
But I think having things as def 4, particularly when they're Titan, is good because they can still be a target. You know, you don't want indestructible monsters.
Well, and I'll say I played. Well, you'll get to Gadora in a minute. The monster I used yesterday, and he survived, but I played against King Kong and I smoked King Kong, dude. Like, if you get a flank, if you get a flank attack with siege breakers, they're only defense 4, 5 at the most. They're not, I know they're dash a big number, but they're not invincible if you hang them out, right?
Yeah. You will. Yeah, like get off my Empire State.
So I don't know. I'm thinking this one because Mothra. With 2 heal 4s, that would allow me to just keep Namagrok and maybe 1 wizard with drain life, and then I'll drop and maybe I'll add a berserker bully or something. I'm thinking about it. This is all, man.
This ain't Sleepless in Seattle. Get off my building.
And Radiance of Life is very nice. Very nice.
I love how you were chuckling in the lead up to that one, Jeremy. Saying it to yourself in your head. You just sitting there.
Yeah.
Right. So here's Gigan. This is the one. Oh, so Gigan. This is the one I use. This is Mecha Godzilla. This is the
He's
one.
He's a bit tougher.
Did I use him? Maybe I didn't use him. I thought I did use him. Maybe not.
Oh, vicious melee. Okay. 12-inch
so
range.
defense 5 now. Speed 8. Fly. Steady aim. Crushing strength 2. Strider. Eye lasers. 12-inch range. If hit against targeted unit, then each enemy unit within 6 inches of the target unit takes 1 wound. Do not take nerve tests. The unit may not be loner rule. And then this unit has vicious melee. So actually, I don't think I played this guy. It's the next one, maybe. This is who I played. Kairu, Earth Defense 4th. Rally. I saw Rally. It piqued my interest. I'm like, man, Rally 1 on all those ogres would be nice. And he's also Fly. And look at his rule. Master Battery, which I think Mazer Battery. I think is either supposed to be Laser Battery or Master Battery. I'm not sure. Probably a typo there.
Bye, Luke. See you in 2 minutes when you finished it.
So this guy has a shooting attack that's 18 inches with steady aim, and he can go at the double and still use it. So he can go 14 inches and then shoot 18. So pretty tasty. And when this unit was routed, it may immediately cast Icy Breath 10 with piercing 2 on the attacking unit. The unit remains frozen during its following turn, which means -1 movement, right?
Yeah.
Do not roll nerve for damage done from this ability. He didn't die yesterday because I beat Taylor's ass. He made me wait. I was waiting for. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play a 1,000-point 40K game, and then we'll play." 3 hours later, he's done with the freaking 40K game. I'm like, "What the hell, man? 1,000 points."
So you must crush him.
Oh, I told him. I said, you better be wearing Depends because I'm about to.
Yeah, those are some really cool special character monsters, though, for a tournament. That's a lot of flavor.
I reckon this one's your jam for your army.
Kong.
Yeah.
So there's 2 left, I think. This is Kong, King of Skull Island. So he's the one that hits on 3s, D6 +8, -18. Strider, Pathfinder, Crushing Strength 2. He also has the Mighty Kaiju rule. This unit. So I guess it's Godzilla and Kong both have that special rule, but I think Godzilla has a shooting attack. Oh, and look at Kong's Fury. This unit attacks. They hit on 5+ become blast 2.
That's cool. I like that.
So does that mean if your hit roll is more than 5?
No. If you hit 5 or 6, then they become 2 hits.
That counts. That attack counts as a blast too. Hits on 5s up, I guess. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Then so again, he can jump over terrain and stuff. It's pretty awesome. And then we round
Didn't
up
Billy
the list.
have like Pug Kong?
Yeah, he's got a big King Kong body with a pug head on it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Oh,
All right,
still
then
more.
finally we have Destroyer, perfect life form. Hits on
Thought
fours.
this would be named Jeremy.
Yes. So I like this Strider, crushing strength 2 fly, range attack 16, steady aim, apply weakness to units damaged by this attack.
Weakness is so good.
And if you're shooting him, not only piercing, but you're shooting him, and then you're getting weakness for free.
Yeah. Yep.
And then apply weakness to units damaged by Destroyer and melee. So you get it both in shooting and in combat.
Like this would be another one who'd be really good for your army, Rob, because of how much defense 6 you have. If you're weakening stuff too, that's that much harder.
The thing
for them
is,
to
though,
kill your-
there's 6 is still score, which you're right. Well, I wonder. You bring up a good point.
No, I mean, I think
Yeah,
it
no,
would
you
be
bring-
more of like the stuff that does have crushing. You're taking that away, so
Right.
then it makes it really tough to kill your stuff.
Interesting. So I've got to decide quick because I got a month or so to make a model.
So what are your choices? You're thinking what's in
I
the
was
final
thinking
running?
either. Well, I played this one yesterday.
Uh-huh.
For the Rally 1, but
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know. Rally 1 wasn't as big a deal as I had hoped.
Uh-huh.
And then I really like Mothra, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
Man, that could be really good with your siege breakers.
Yeah,
Really
Radiance
good.
of Life on Siege Breakers with 2
Oof.
double heals. Yeah.
Yeah,
and Namagarok with heal 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
And then
just got even dirtier.
And then
Yes,
if you
I
want to
did.
throw him in, and he dies, that's okay. You get a D6 heal and get to make one of your big stompy things elite.
Mm.
I think that would be good. Mothra would be good for you.
I tell you what I really like about these is there's no obvious best one.
No, they're all good. They're all good in different
And-
Well,
ways.
Chuck
and
brings
there's
a
6
good
of them.
comment, which they were well play tested. The DoD Disciples
Yes.
of Dustin did a lot of
Mhm.
work. The Blue Suit Brawlers did a lot of work.
Yeah.
So unlike last year, where maybe 1 or 2 slipped through, this year, the second year for the event, they spent a
Mhm.
lot of time making sure that tasty.
Well, and having 6 of them
when is
means
this
you're
event?
likely
This
to see
event is
variety.
8 of them. 8 of them, bro. There's
8.
8.
Oh, right. 8.
Yeah.
Right,
And this is
okay.
in January.
Yeah, January, the last week of January.
I'm gonna have to put this one on the list. This sounds fun.
It's
Mm.
dude, you should come, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate to say it, but if you were to fly to Memphis, you could stay here for free. You could just carpool over with me. We could play the game. I'm just saying it could be a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll
The
have
whole
to
thing.
discuss. We're gonna have to discuss this.
It
could be a whole
because I-
thing.
Nice of
I-
heaven.
I love this flavor. Well, we're coming to not this Clash of Kings, but in the next 3 years we will be in Australia. That's
Oh
my
yeah,
goal.
we got accommodation for you too there, mate.
Yeah.
In the hole that is Canberra.
Get the didgeridoos ready. Lube them up. Get
My
them
dig is always ready.
Perpetual state.
So, anyways, I love events like this where they have well thought out additions,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
feels like there's a reason for each of them to exist, and there's not one that's just like, maybe you could argue there's one that's the right choice for a specific army, but like none of them are like automatically better in all circumstances than the others.
This reminds me a lot of the characters Rashad has for Riddle of Steel, where we really put a lot of thinking and no one is that much better than the other, but they all have their different moments to shine. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but all right, let's just say I take Mothra though. I don't want to make an actual Mothra model. That's dumb, right? Like I'm gonna have to figure out like, okay, what would a giant healing monster in ogres look like? It's got to have wings, and I would prefer it not to look like a big moth or a big butterfly.
For ogres, flying for ogres.
And what
Yeah.
base? You said it's on a 75?
It's a 75. One thing I thought about was for Kings of Winter, I took the Ensnare monster, which was on a 50. So I had this giant Minotaur that I painted up. I sort of thought about, well, maybe I have another one. I could put wings on him.
Yeah.
Put him on a flying Minotaur. I don't know.
Or an
that'd be
ogre.
cool.
How about an ogre cooking?
Ooh. Okay.
Or a
So
giant cooking. A giant
you
cooking
got-
somehow.
Yeah, you got me. A giant cooking.
Mm. Because
Interesting.
it needs to be a Titan, right? So unless
Yeah, it's
you
got to be
scale
on
up an
75
ogre-
base. Yeah.
I mean, you can
75.
always scale up an ogre somehow, but there's some very ogre looking giants around. Even if you had to get one printed, and then if you did something, you could model
Well,
up some sort of
It
cooking
does
pot
happen
in
to
front
be
of it.
that I may or may not have a resin giant sitting on my paint table right now.
Yeah. I mean, that makes the most sense, right? Because you can use giants still in ogres, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I have giants. Yeah, I mean, Well, I have a giant that's on a 50mm base because that's what it was in second edition. I really haven't been using. Well, I mean, to be fair, in third edition until the last 6 months, I hadn't really been using ogres.
So what are your other armies? So also I'm thinking about like what could you make that maybe would
All
work
right. So
with,
over
like,
the break, I'm
another
going to be
army?
painting up goblins.
Goblins. Could you do something for your like a winged slasher? Do the goblins have, or do they have like a slasher, right, or some sort of?
I like what you think. I like
I'm
where
thinking
your head's at.
if you can't,
Because, I
use
mean,
it for
How do you make
maybe-
it
ogres,
mother-esque?
What's that?
Try to-
Repeat that.
oh.
How do you make it mother-esque though?
Call out to the fans out there if any
Ooh.
listeners.
Other little goblins holding things that it can drop. Supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Ooh,
we
here's
talking
something
like
that'll heal
wingeds
you.
dropping, like air drops, or what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
airdrops. Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Do you have a winged for your
I have
goblins?
several. I have several.
Because a winged's
course he does.
flying, and then Mothra flies, right?
wingeds. She does.
So maybe building off the winged somehow could be cool.
and then I could actually repurpose the winged for the actual
Goblins.
goblin army.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
Something. For
I like
those
your
of us-
idea about a wing slasher, though. I don't think I have a wing slasher in the goblin list. I think we just have.
and that's just a great
slasher.
model. That's just like
Yeah.
a cool model too.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to go dig into the pile of goodness and see what
The pile
Ooh,
of
and
shit.
if you Mother
if-
Kryza on the base, you could put some like little flying things round, like the wing slashers. Got a baby brood.
You know, if I was playing, if I have the perfect model for a lot of things other than the ones that fly. I've got Atlantis Miniatures Giant Yeti. It's already on. I've already got it modeled. And it's ready to be painted on 75. But I'm not playing King Kong. If I was playing King Kong, that's totally what I would do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kong.
But I can't. Mothra just calls to me, man.
Hey,
It's like
speaking
a
of
moth
which,
to the light.
Atlantis have rebranded.
What
Are they?
What are we talking
What,
about?
did you not?
What?
Aren't they called like Blue Ant or something now, or Blue something?
Wow, they had a lot of good monsters.
Let's look this
But I
up.
got my
Oh,
Chimera
maybe it wasn't
Hippogriff.
them. Someone
Oh!
rebranded recently.
No, it's not.
Who?
them.
No, who rebranded recently? I thought it was them.
Oh man, that Yeti is amazing. Is it the Yeti that you have? Is the one
That is
on
the,
their
that is
main?
the Yeti I have. Yeah,
Dude, that model is badass.
he's a lot
bro,
bigger than you look too. He's squat, but he's probably
and he looks kind
4
of
inches tall.
Kong-esque.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, it must be them. There's nothing on their website now.
Oh wait, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
there isn't anything here.
What's going on?
I think it's was it Blue or Blue?
Did they get bought out?
Blue and I don't know, but they called something else. If I search on, where could I search? No, it's not Blue Ant. That's
I
something
wonder-
else.
It always makes me wonder what's going on when companies change names like this.
Uh-huh.
Like if there's a problem with their Kickstarter or some legal, I don't know.
Because they were
shenanigans.
UK, weren't they?
They're in the
Yeah,
UK.
Blue Giant Studios.
All right. So Blue
I
Giant
think.
Studios. So yeah, look at you. Unusual for me to miss hobby input like this. And
Yeah, especially
on
for
you.
them. I thought you were a big fan.
So Blue Giant Studios, Black Friday, up to 50% off.
Yeah, it's definitely them. Yep.
Yeah, but what? Contact,
That's interesting.
collections, catalog, home. I need to find out what's going on. I'll have to email Dan over at Atlantis and see what's
Rob's
You
like,
can't
I gotta
email
reach
them at
out.
Atlantis.
Well, the only thing I can think of is maybe they're going to leave Atlantis Miniatures as like a line or a brand, and Blue Giant's going to be the company.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh man, they got a lot
Yeah,
of cool dwarves.
Because it looks like they're doing some more STL stuff now.
Oh my god, I want a printer.
World of Dragons STL Kickstarter in a few days.
Yeah, didn't they do some stuff for I can't remember. Anyways, yeah. Awesome stuff. Oh, Forest Critters. They got some new models out. I have to Jackrabbit. Pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, we're coming to time. It was fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed a little chat about some monsters. We're gonna play test. We're gonna be running an event this weekend. Three games, 1995 with the monster. So I'm gonna definitely. My list is it's 4 Siegebreaker hordes. I'll leave it at that. And so I'll be running Mothra.
Cool.
Make sure you listen out for our Christmas podcast episode, our end of year episode, where we
Yeah, that's coming up.
jingle
Great-
Jeremy's bells.
Great reminder that we want you to contribute to the show. There was 3 questions that we put. We have a post on the Facebook page. You can just type in there a response or use our voicemail. Either way, we want you to be part of the show. We always love reading about, what's your favorite Mantic release and, the various questions that we ask. It's always fun to see what our opinions, how much different they are from the rest of the wider community. So, well, thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Kyle. Yeah.
Until next time, keep countercharging.